What's up, guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm joined by Harry, of course.
Hey, guys. Yeah.
And we are joined by another 5 goals conceded. Couple of things before we get properly into this episode. First of all, congratulations to Liverpool. I know Matt was happy on Sunday, and I know he's going to the game that they'll do the trophy lift. So it's always happy to see a friend happy, as long as it's not an Arsenal fan. Congratulations to Liverpool on their Champions League win. And I thought what Slot did with chanting Jurgen Klopp's name after Klopp introduced him like that to Anfield, I thought was really nice. So always a good thing to see. What else was I going to say? A couple of other things as well. One on a very, very sad note, and the other one sort of sad note as well. The first one is, for those guys that don't know, the gentleman who's done the majority of my tattoos on my arm is a gentleman called Lee.
Oh.
He's an Arsenal fan, and he passed away last week. He lost a 9-month battle with cancer. He was one of the loveliest people you will ever meet. He was so down to earth. I remember, you guys know Ben. I've spoken to you about Ben before. Ben met him when he came down from Northern Ireland to Luton for my birthday in January. That's when I got my Robin Williams one done, my Genie Lamp one. Like, that design was just an idea I had in my head, and he hand drew all that, and that artwork will permanently be on my arm. He did the doves, which obviously were, I don't know, hold on, for those guys that are on YouTube, you can't see this, but the dove tattoos and the paw print for family that passed away. He did the K&T for my little brother. He did the date of my first game. He did my music notes. He did my Wallace and Gromit ones. So a lot of his artwork, and I'm so glad it all lived through me and lived through so many other people, because his work was phenomenal. He was absolutely incredible. And yeah, he was such a lovely guy. And I'm absolutely gutted. I'm absolutely gutted that he's passed away. So just spare a thought when you guys finish listening to this. Spare a thought for close friends, close family. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say we were friends, but he was a really important part of my life. He'd been tattooing me for 3.5 years. So, you know, I saw him because their tattoo parlor was in the basement of my. It sounds really bad when you say in the basement. It was a proper tattoo studio. It was just in the same building as where I got my haircut. So I'd always see him and the other lad that owned the studio whenever I went in to get my haircut. And I've been getting my haircut in the same place for like 8 years now. So, you know, I'm quite close to those lads. I played football with those lads before. So I know they're all struggling. So, thoughts out to him and his family. And then on a sad note, it's hard to say not as sad, but there's a girl that I've met quite a few times at SPURS games called Hannah, and her son goes to school with I think her son's 10 this year. One of the kids in their friendship group at school has been diagnosed with cancer. The lads, as part of that friendship group, are shaving their heads to help raise money for the charity that helped them throughout this process of their son having cancer. I'm going to leave a link to the Just Giving page in the description. Please, if it's only a £5, it's only £10, if it's only £1 or £2. These are a really a great group of young lads that are doing everything they can to support their friend who's going through something that I couldn't even possibly imagine for an adult, let alone a child. So please, guys, she's a Tottenham fan. Her son's a Tottenham fan. Yeah, I don't know what the other kids are, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, that makes it community enough. So please, if you can, go over there, read the Just Giving page description, chuck £1 or £2 in there. It'd mean the world. Harry actually met Hannah, I think, for the first time, for the first time ever at the Forest game. I've met her a couple of times as well. I've met her son before. Her son is absolutely lovely. They're a great group of young lads. So please do what you can. Thank you so much. Right, no more. I should have pre-warned you. I feel like I do this every time. I just go on a bit of a thing. I think you knew the other one was the one about the guy.
I know about the tattoo guy.
The other one I only saw this morning, literally this morning, and I messaged her and said, "Listen, do you mind if I mention it?" And she was like, "No, not at all. Like, you know, the lads would really appreciate it." So he's doing what he can. It cost me nothing but 30 seconds to sit here and talk about it. But if people donate towards a cause, then it's you know, it's done its justice. Right, Sunday. Where do we even begin? I made a TikTok. It's on about 1,500 views, which is a lot for just my face, to be fair. It doesn't happen very often. And let me turn my volume down because I was watching a bunch of gym TikToks. 1,437 views. And it was me walking home from, I literally just parked my car and I was walking to my front door. And at the time, the score was 5-1. And I put in brackets underneath, not final score. And I basically said that no matter what happens on Thursday, no matter what happens the following Thursday, no matter what happens in the final, he's not been good enough. He needs to go. And, you can finish 10th and win a Europa League, and that's a good season. But you just avoiding relegation because the 3 championship teams finished below you, and West Ham, all right, 4 championship teams finished below you.
Might even finish above West Ham. We'll see on the weekend.
Well, yeah, let's say we go there. I'm bearing in mind West Ham were lucky not to beat Brighton as well. They conceded 2 screamers. So it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And some guy in the comments going, "Oh my God, what a Mr. Positive." Listen, shove your sarcasm up your fucking ass, all right? I don't understand. Sorry, I forgot my little brother might listen to this. I don't understand how people can sit there and watch a performance. Listen, I watched 10 minutes and turned it off. And the players just don't care. They just don't care. And they've stopped playing for the manager. I said this about 6 weeks ago. There was a game we played where it really looked like they played for him. And it did, right? It did. But every performance is, apart from Frankfurt away, tells me they don't care about that manager. They don't want that manager to be there. Most of those players won't be there.
Well, did you hear today that Levy said we're going to have to sell or something?
Yeah, but I'm sick of this. We say this every year. We still go and buy 1 or 2 players, and then we sell. I think the reason why we sell that, why we tweet that, I'm not going to lie, because okay, yeah, cool. There's been some summers where that's been valid, but I think for the majority of the part, the reason why the club come out and say that is so not just that. I think one of the reasons why the club comes out and says that every year, whether we spend or not, is so they don't pay premium prices. Oh, we've got to sell players first. We're not going to have a lot of money. We're putting 40 million for a player that we probably should be paying 50 million for. Clubs are more likely to accept it because they're worried that we're not going to have the money. They're going to take what they can. I think that'll be for things like Mark Guehi. That'll be players like that the club have clearly identified as first team replacement targets, is to try and pay 10, 15, 20% less. Because no offence, you and I both know, even that summer when we signed Ndombele, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, we spent like 150 million that summer, or 112 million, 120 million, something like that. And at the start of the summer, all the leagues were, we have to sell to buy, we have to sell to buy, we have to sell to buy. Because I remember you went ballistic, how the fuck do we need to sell to buy after losing a Champions League final? And then we went and spent loads of money, we didn't really sell players before. So it's not. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's not. It's very. It sounds really bad, but this is why I don't react to those posts anymore. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the same sources saying the same stuff at the same time every year. Most of the time, even when like last summer, there was, we need to sell to buy. We need to sell to buy. We need to sell to buy. Don't recall selling anyone major. Spend 60 million on Solanke, like 40 million on like. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's not as truthful as it used to be. Yeah. Let's put it that way. We all know Levy's a tight ass when it comes to transfer deals, so it makes complete sense. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things I don't think we need to read into it all that much. And I think Tottenham fans that get baited by it every single year just need to get a grip and just wait and see what actually happens in the transfer window.
Well, it was just a shit show, really.
I don't. My problem isn't losing to Liverpool. My problem is the way we lost. First of all, right, let's talk about our goal for a change. First good corner I've ever seen Maddison take. Yeah. Second of all, well played by Dom Solanke. We've all said he's worked his arse off the last couple of weeks. One of the few players that does look like he's playing for the badge, the majority of times he plays, which is all that you can say about a lot of them. Great header. Again, been completely unlucky this season in terms of the style of play. He's completely minimised what he's capable of doing. And I want to see what he can achieve under a better manager, under a more supportive manager for him and his play style next season.
But the rest was just
shocking.
Yeah. I mean, Johnson should be ashamed of himself.
Right, let me tell you this now, right? And I've never been with. There's been a lot in Angie's tenure that's made me angry. but refusing to play Archie Gray in his natural position the entire season and then throwing him in to arguably the hardest away atmosphere in the Premier League and then hooking him after 45 minutes is pathetic. You have absolutely shattered any confidence that young man has built in himself, despite everybody else being god-awful for the majority of the season, despite everybody else playing with no confidence, playing with no drive. He's one of a few players this season that has grabbed the opportunity by the scruff of the neck wherever he's had to play, centre-back, full-back, wherever, left side, right side, upside down, whatever the fuck, I don't know. Like,
no, not yet.
Everywhere he's played, he's worked his arse off. He's never always been perfect, but he's a young player, big step up, thrown in the deep end for a lot of it around inconsistent other performance, inconsistent lineups. And the one game you put him, where fans like me have been asking to put him for 6 months, the one game you put him is the game you know for a fact he's not experienced enough to handle. It's not even about ability. It's not even about understanding the game. It purely hasn't got enough game experience to play a holding midfield with a midfield like that away at Anfield. You have literally set him up to fail. And then when you sit there and go, well, I played the players the fans wanted me to play, it's not my fault. Well, actually, it is your fault. Because you can't just, if I turn around to Harry, who played right back, centre back, left back all season, the minute players that weren't good enough anyway come back and are able to play, shove them in, don't play you for 6 weeks, and then go, do you know what would be funny? Try Chelsea away in midfield. Or, in this case, try Anfield away in midfield. You're setting the poor kid up to fail. And it annoys me so much because we've said this all season, that Spurs are a club, whether we like it or not, that have given youth a chance, they've backed youth, they've made positive decisions for youth development. Look at Keeley and Donnelly on loan this year. You look at other players that have gone on loan over the years, Harry Kane, he had a few failed loan spells, but we got it right in the end. There's so many players. Andros Townsend went on loan a few times. Like, the amount of young players that Spurs have given an opportunity to over the years, Dele Alli when he broke through, dare I say, Harry Winks when he broke through, he looked promising. Like, Ledley King came for our academy. The other came through the other academy. I'm censoring myself because everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like, the fact that we've given so many players an opportunity, we have a good young English player that we've played maybe a little bit more than what fans wanted, but you can see that there's a player there. And he's gone and set him up to fail. I cannot stand managers who deliberately set young players up to fail just to cover their own back.
The problem with the Brave is that he used him as a utility player all season, basically. And then because he wanted to rest players, because we've got obviously Product Glint on Thursday, he just played him in midfield because the rest, I don't know who it was. Bentancur wasn't even on the bench. I imagine he'll probably play.
Yeah.
Madison played, I guess, and Burwell played. So I imagine Burwell will probably play the first leg as well. But as in, he was just using him to fill a spot. But I don't know. Great. It's a debate for another day. I don't know.
It is a debate for another day. I think we'll see a lot more next season. But in general, would you agree that Ange putting him in that game to save his own arse to rotate in the worst possible atmosphere? Again, Liverpool know they need 1 point to win the league, and you're telling me that that's fair on Gray.
Well, really, he should have. If he was going to play him ever, then if he ever saw him as a midfielder, I don't know because I'm not in his head because he's played him everywhere else.
Everywhere else, not in midfield, yeah.
So he should have played him like a cup game or something, really.
Yeah. But nothing. He's played players that he wants for the majority of the season. He's used Gray to fill in gaps with injuries.
Number 6 early in the season, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was right at the start of the season. But he's played right back, left back, centre back against tough opponents and done well. And now you're throwing him into midfield for the first or second time of the season away at Anfield the day they're going to win the league. Are you having a laugh? Are you actually having a laugh? And we all know that 95% of that away end.
He'll just press them.
We all know 95% of that away end was full of Liverpool fans.
Well, I don't know because, but
it's a joke, and I think it's so disrespectful to our youth system. And I'm so glad that he's going to be gone in the summer because if we've got players like Keeley, we've got players like Donnelly coming back, I want them to have a fair chance. If you're good enough, you're good enough. It doesn't matter how old you are.
I want more of a gripe with the Moore situation, to be honest, because we got Intel. Intel, I'm sorry, he's had like good 5-10 minutes probably since he's been here. If I'm being honest.
But again, I think that's part of the fact that the manager's shit.
And then he's taken more spot on the left. More actually, to be fair to him, was having quite a decent.
Yeah, he played really, really well. I remember when he came on. Who was it? Was it Hoffenheim? He came on against, and
I'm not seeing him since Elfsborg when he came on. I'm not seeing him since then because we bought in Tell. And he's just not been used. I'm just like, I don't get it. Moore was probably arguing, in my opinion, our most exciting young player. But yeah, he's just not getting played.
This is another reason why I'm glad Andrew's gone, because this was a year where he could use the youth. And I understand Moore had health problems or whatever, but literally after January, he's thrown him in the gutter, and it's so disrespectful for some of these young players. And they're just
because I heard
what's the young player's name? He came on and scored. Yeah. Great when he came on and played. Thought, cool, he's been on the bench a couple of times.
And there's another guy, Oluwesi. Is it Oluwesi, the other guy he brought on?
I think so.
Is that his name? Something like that, yeah. In the Elfsborg game.
That was it, yeah. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to Tottenham and what Tottenham stand for. It's disrespectful to the players. It's disrespectful to the club, to the fans. He's just an absolute badass.
It's more just he doesn't know how to manage players. That's
I think he does. He just chooses to be an idiot.
No, I just think, because Tell's a more senior player because he came from Bayern. He's just playing him because he's a more senior player. Like he could easily have played Tell. I'm saying I agree with this, but he could have played Tell in the middle, more on the left, or even more on the left, Tell on the right instead of Johnson, who was absolutely useless at Anfield. Yeah. There's so many options he could have done. He easily could have played more, but. Moore wasn't even on the bench, I checked.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
I don't understand it. The guy was actually looking good earlier in the season, at least.
Either way, like I say, I'm looking forward to Ange going in the summer.
I just want to see him today.
Yeah, I said the same thing yesterday.
But yeah, we've got West Ham. I'm predicting another loss, to be honest. I think we're probably going to lose to West Ham.
Are we away?
Yeah.
Are we on TV?
No. I'm going to have to stream it. 2 p.m.
I'm not going to lie, I thought West Ham were really unlucky against Brighton, to be fair.
I haven't seen any of it, but they're at home, which makes a big difference. And plus, because it's in between 2 legs, he'll rest players again, won't he? So
yeah,
it'll be the similar team against at Anfield. So Magic Gray will probably play again in midfield or something like that.
It's mental. Do you remember when we sat in... Do you remember when we sat in January and we went through all the fixtures and I was going about what results we could get?
When did I tell you? I can't remember when I told you. I said we'll only beat Southampton, the rest of them will lose. I can't remember what week.
Yeah, that was the week we said.
Yeah.
Today, wait. We drew to Bournemouth.
Yay.
One more point than expected. We'll lose to Palace, we'll lose to Villa, we'll lose to Brighton, and we'll lose to West Ham.
Wait, so what games we've got left? It's 4. So we've got
West Ham away, Palace at home, Villa away, Brighton at home.
Palace away at home. I forgot we got Palace.
I kind of want to go to the Brighton game so I can boo him
when he leaves.
Yeah,
but is that before the final? Assuming we get there, is it before the final? That last game of the season.
I'd imagine so. Yeah,
I think it's before, so he'll probably play the kids again.
Yeah, we'll talk about what our plans are for
next season,
what manager and stuff. Because part of my conversation depends on if Palace win the FA Cup or not, and part of my conversation depends on what happens in the Europa League. If we win the Europa League, I think I'd prefer to go for Inzaghi. If we don't, I want to go for Glazner. You've noticed a certain pattern here with certain players. I was actually talking to a guy at work earlier. He's a young kid, and he's a Chelsea fan, and we were talking about the managers, and he said, I can see exactly why Glazner would be a good fit. With what he did with Kostic on that left. He said Udogi's probably the best young left back in the league. You've got Porro, who's one of the best crossers of the ball in the league for fullback.
He'll probably play a 3-5-2, I think.
Having those two there, having Van der Ven, Mark Guay, and another centre back in the midfield, I'd have Gray and an experienced 6, and then you can rotate Gray and Sarr depending on the game. Udogi and Porro, Spence, and another left wing back. You have Kulusevski, Son, and Solanke. Not Kulusevski and Son as wingers. Kulusevski and Son as floating 10s with Solanke up top. So they'll be making runs along. I think that'll benefit all the players. And I think we'll start to see Son score more and more goals because he'll be in and around the penalty area as well. Brennan Johnson, unfortunately to say, would fit into that role well. We've said it several times this season. As much as I want the club to sell him, I don't think they will.
As well, I guess.
Well, I'll talk about him in a second. I think we've got Moore could play that role really well. I think we've got the players in the attacking front. So you sell Richarlison. Let's say you sign Tell. You sell Richarlison. You sign Tell. Your attack, I think, has enough. You go and sign a holding midfielder. You have Bentancur and Sarr as your backups. You have Gray and a new holding midfielder as your starters. You have Porro Spence on the right-hand side. You have Udogie and a new left wing back on the left-hand side. You have Van der Ven, Ben Davies as your left-sided cover. You have Mark Guehi and Vescovic as your central cover. And then you get a starting centre-back, and either you bring back Phillips or you go and bring a youngster in or see if there's any young... Maybe Alfie Dorrington, you move him forward and you go and get a starter. Sure. And then I would give Kinski half a season as the number one, see what he can do, and then in January...
you've gone for Cairo as well. My dad, my dad.
Right, hey, listen. You told me to do this. I know exactly what you're saying. I hate it because I love Vicario as a character, as a person. I think his mentality is absolutely spot on.
As a keeper, he's just...
But he's just so fucking stupid. I don't mind mistakes every now and again, but...
Passing it straight to Liverpool players every time.
Mate, it's just... But the thing with Vicario, and this is the reason why I would give Kinski half a season, and if it doesn't work, give Vicario the other half of next season, is because I don't know if the way we're playing is just pure suicide for him. I think it is, because he's been told to get a lot more hands-on, and I just think it's not what we need. And I think going to a back...
Vicario, though, disregarding the whole how we play, because I do think that affects him as well with his kicking. Yeah. I don't think kicking is the best anyway, but what I'm saying, it does affect him, because with Lloris, it affected Lloris even as well when he played Poch, and when Jose came in, he just tended to kick it long. So it did improve his kicking because he could just play it longer, right? Yeah. But the issue I have with Vicario is the set pieces.
To a degree, yes, but I also think our set piece organisation has gone backwards. If you remember at the start of the season, we had the first 2 or 3 episodes where we said how bad it was from the previous season. Then there was a massive period where we improved. There wasn't really a goalkeeping problem. There wasn't really a defensive problem from set pieces. And then it's fallen off again. And I actually think now, looking at the course of how the season's gone, it's less about how we're set up and more about attitude from set pieces. Because I don't think Romero, Van der Ven, I don't really think I can really follow him, but I don't think Romero and I don't think the fullbacks are supporting defensively on set pieces the way you'd expect them to, where they were in that second period at the start of the season. Yeah. The fact that we had that period, quite a relatively big period actually, where we didn't look vulnerable for set pieces, we were organised well, we were clearing the ball well, the ball wasn't ping-ponging around and then going back into the box, it was going out wide, it was going long. It proved that it can be done. So this is why I'd probably give Kinski or Vicario, whichever one, the first 6 months of next season under a new manager, where there's more defensive structure. Like one of the goals he conceded, I can't remember which one it was, that went into the bottom corner. 3 defenders in the way. Any single one of those players should have blocked that. Like the ball's come so quick to him.
Mishit or didn't tackle the player on the rebound on the corner. Is that one?
I don't know. I can't remember, but he was...
I remember
that the ball came out and then it was hit into the bottom corner and it bent into the bottom corner. You can see 3 players in the way. Vicario's going to struggle to see that. And by the time he's seen it, it's too late. Any one of those players should be putting their body on the line there, and not a single player has. So I think a lot of our defensive problems, which are impacting Vicario, are down to attitude, which he doesn't have that problem. He does work his arse off. He is motivated. He is driven. He is aggressive. He is organised. I think the players, a large proportion of the players in front of him don't give a rat's ass. Yeah. So I think going to a back 3, having that system, having Mark Guehi in the middle, who has been a leader at Palace, dare I say it, having Van der Ven, and then I'd bring in a slightly more experienced centre-back on that right-hand side. And then I feel like we've got a squad to play that way. It benefits the major players that are important for the system. It wouldn't require too many changes in the summer. I said I wasn't going to talk about this all on this episode, but now we have, so it's tough shit. Controversially, I would sell James Maddison in the summer.
As much as I sort of agree with you, I don't think the club will sell him. That's the problem.
I don't think they will, but I would. And the reason why I would sell him,
I think we might have an issue with it, is also because how many players we're going to bring in the summer? I don't know. We can't.
But if we go to that system, I think we already have enough players that fit the role he would be in. Kulusevski, Son, Bentancur.
Like if we sold him and bought Eze, for example, by theoretically speaking, then it would make sense. Like if we said,
I think Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, not necessarily in this order. Son, Mikey Moore. Who else have we got in the attacking midfielder / sort of budget?
Odobert as well.
Odobert as well. Like we've got more than we've got three. We've got too many players there, and he's not going to play deeper. Not in a 2-man midfield. I'd seriously get rid. I'd go back to Newcastle and go. You were willing to bid 40 million from a struggling
Leicester.
Bid 45, 50 million. Make him your main Champions League signing.
Give us this act. Yeah, that's right.
No. And then we'll put that money towards. And I actually think if Newcastle wanted to bought a player like Maddison, then they wouldn't necessarily have to worry about. And we were talking about. We said the other day about De Bruyne.
I think they might have moved away from him because of the midfield they play now. Because they got Guimaraes.
But this is the thing, though. We were talking about. We made a joke about them signing De Bruyne to go in that midfield, and we said that we don't think they would do it because the gap in quality is too big between De Bruyne and their players. The gap between Maddison and Bruno and Joelinton is a lot less, but it's still a similar type of player.
Let's use him as like a 30-minute impact player off the bench. Or
potentially. I mean, for him,
obviously they're going to be rotating because Newcastle. I think they're probably going to finish Champions League now. But
which is what makes me think that it would be a good idea.
He might be like a top player there at best. I think. Like honestly, I don't think he would be a starting midfielder for them anymore because I think their focus now is having a really strong midfield and then letting the attackers like Gordon and is it Jacob Murphy, the other guy, and Isak just go. And then they just use the fullbacks as more like width and they just put the balls in for Isak. I mean, Isak's got 22 goals this season.
That's crazy. Yeah, but again, like I say, he's one of the players I get rid of. And by the way, before people start throwing at me, yes, I understand not every player's attitude has been great this season. The majority of them haven't. But Maddison is meant to be part of the leadership group. He's throwing a sulk every 10 minutes. He's down in tools all the time. He doesn't look like he cares. Even like you can fault Sarr or Gray or whatever for inconsistencies this season, despite the fact the whole team's been inconsistent.
Sarr kind of been dropped for the past month already.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But whenever he plays, he runs himself into the ground. He's working his like we've never ever been able to fault his work rate. We've never been able to fault Gray's work rate. Like I'd much rather, we said this for years, I'd much rather have a player who runs 125% every single game into the floor than a player who runs 15%, but once every 15 games they'll make a good corner or they'll play a good pass.
I guess Verbal could kind of take his spot. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Then you've got the other options as well. So you could have Solanke. So you can have Solanke. You can have Bergval, Kulusevski, which I think that three would be incredible. You can have Son, Brennan Johnson. You can have Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson. You can have Kulusevski, Odobert. Exactly. There's so many. You've got pace. You've got creativity. You've got physicality. You've got everything.
Playing the way they play, really.
Exactly, and that's why I think Glazer would make sense. And if Palace don't win the FA Cup and we are in Champions League, I think it would make sense for everyone.
Are we going to make Champions League? I don't know, but yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I think there's more of a chance. That sounds weird if we don't make the Champions League for him to come because.
What he can do in one season when there's no European football, he's only got 1 week to focus on.
Yeah, and I think that if they make Champions League and Paratici comes back, I don't think he will now, but they might go for a bigger name because I saw a report from Give Me Sport or something saying Spurs are looking at big names because Ancelotti's leaving, right? Ancelotti, some other.
He's going to the Brazilian national team.
But there's two other names, I can't remember the names, right? And Zaghi, I think, was one of them, and there was one other person saying, if Spurs make Champions League, they'll try and go for a bigger man.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the way to go. Even to make Champions League, I think we should still go for someone like Glasner. Because I think someone like that. I think right now.
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be opposed to Thomas Frank, and I still stand by my point. And if Thomas Frank played the back three that he played when he was at Brentford at the beginning, then I'd be more leaning towards it. I think our squad just suits about. And this is not before people start going at me in the comments, but that's what you play on Football Manager. I play on Football Manager because I believe in the style of play, and I believe, like right now, if he wasn't at Man United, Almiron would be my top choice.
Almiron. We were living, but he doesn't want to be with the same club as Levy or something.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. I'd be going for that style of manager.
You know what I love about him, and this is not even like obviously United aren't doing very well, but he's very honest. Yeah, because I watched his interview after the 4-3 or 5-4, whatever it was, and he was talking about how they've been struggling in the Premier League because of the physicality. Like he was really honest about
he is really honest.
United. He's always been like that, and I prefer that personally because at least the fans kind of know.
See, it's not even about that for me. It's just for me.
And
It's
he's
about the
more
style
than
of
a bloke.
play.
He's
It's
not
for me.
humble,
It's
all
about
right.
the style of play with the players we've got. And I think, like I say, we'd need Tell or maybe one striker. We don't like
Or
Tell.
striking, yeah.
We'd need an experienced 6, and then we've got 4 midfielders, not including academy kids. We need a left-sided centre back. We need a Romero replacement and one other centre back. So that's
And
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 players. Bearing in mind, you're selling Basuma, that's going to help fund the midfielder. You're selling Richarlison, that's going to help fund, if not pay for the striker.
Yeah.
Then you're selling Romero, that's going to help fund and replace Romero's replacement. So actually, all you're doing is paying for a backup left wing back and another centre back.
If we, because I think they're giving Davies another year, so I don't think.
No, but Davies would rotate with Van der Ven. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying 2 players per position, we're talking about a dream scenario. There's only 2 positions, 2 players you're needing to sign out of a budget. You can't tell me that we haven't got 70 million to spend on 2 players.
Yeah. It depends because I think they might go for someone like Jonathan David as a striker. I don't know. I have this feeling they might. If Glasner comes in, I don't know. I have this feeling he might be a Glasner player. I don't know why.
There you go. So even then that's a free player. Then you've got extra. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not unfeasible to say that squad under Glasner isn't a lot better, play style wise, squad wise, whatever than what we've got. It's not hard, really, is it? But yeah, West Ham on Sunday then.
I can't take his narcissism. That's what it is, man. I just can't take his narcissism. It's just.
I grew up with a narcissist, so.
It's not the kind of comes back shit he comes out with. I'm just like, just shut up, mate. Like,
this is
I feel like if I was in person, I feel like telling him, I'm going to be here but when you leave, so just sit down and shut up. Like, honestly, I don't even care. If I saw him in the restaurant, I was going over to talk to him. I'm so done with this guy.
It's just shit, isn't it?
But I don't know. But I just think the reason I compared, say, Amram to Ange is Amram and Ange are quite sort of in similar positions because of the Europa League and the league position. Of course, the United are slightly better than us in the league, but Amram's going about it a different way, the way he's addressing the fans and the problems of the club. And he's been there for a lot less. But Ange, even from the beginning...
I feel like Ange is doing this typical Tottenham managers thing where he knows the journey's over, so...
I feel like it's
everybody else's fault on the way out.
Yeah. He's just deflecting. He's been doing it for ages.
Almarin wants to be at United in 10 years' time.
You tell he wants to be there. Yeah, you tell he was. He's been a United fan apparently as well before, he said. So.
Wouldn't surprise me being Portuguese growing up in that era.
Because he, the 99 documentary, he cited it when they interviewed him after the comeback. He was like, I was watching a documentary the other day. He was saying it was kind of a reminder of that, obviously, because they scored the 2 goals in the end when
Yeah. West Ham score prediction
3-1 to West Ham.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go for as well.
If we were at home,
we're both agreeing that we're shit.
Tottenham,
I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. West Ham score, Spurs equalise. West Ham score straight away, and then give away a penalty or something later in the game, set piece, something.
Yeah. It's because we're away. That's why I have no confidence. If we're at home, maybe I'll be something different. But maybe we'll surprise us. Maybe we'll win and make sure we finish 16th.
Yeah.
Because Wolves are 41 points. They're actually like 4 points.
It's fucking crazy, isn't it?
I think they've won 6 games in a row.
And people are having a go, by the way. I saw this on TikTok the other day. People are having a go at the Wolves manager for the opponents he's lost. Yeah, but they're the same teams that, like Ipswich are beating Spurs this season, beating United, beating whoever, like... Do you know what I mean? They're the same teams that other teams are losing for. It's a joke.
Honestly, this is just...
And do you know what's going to make the season even more depressing? The fact that the Arsenal men's and the Arsenal women's team could both win the Champions League this year.
I'm getting my PSG shirt out tomorrow. I don't have a PSG shirt.
I've got one, but it doesn't fit me, some fat cunt. Yeah, it's funny actually. My mate, it's his birthday on Saturday, and we're going to London. And he told me strictly no Spurs. He's like, it's embarrassing enough as it is knowing you're a Tottenham fan, let alone.
On Thursday, right? So obviously it's going to be the hottest day, 28 degrees or something.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll come in t-shirts and that. I'm going to the game, right? So I'm like, I'm going to have to zip up my cardigan all day. I'm working at Angel, and there's
that's where all the Arsenal fans are, isn't it?
Mate, like I walk around and this bloody.
Are they playing at home first?
Yeah, that's why I'm working late tomorrow because I did it on purpose. so I can miss them all on the train. Because if I get on the train at 4:30,
you'll get on with all the Arsenal fans.
I won't, number one, I'm not going to even get on. Number two, King's Cross is going to be a shithole because they're going to be full of Arsenal fans. Because let's be real, it's going to be so busy. Like it's going to be.
Did you see Leicester Square with Crystal Palace fans?
No.
For the FA Cup? Absolutely
packed. I kind of want them to win it.
Some guy on TikTok replied saying, "Why are they in Leicester when they're a London team?" Oh my god! I literally replied saying, "Leicester Square's in London. You don't know."
What? He actually said that?
I did, yeah.
No, I'm saying he said Leicester.
Yeah, he said that. Why are they in Leicester?
Oh my god! Some people are just stupid.
Well, you got to remember though. Some people haven't. Like you live in London. London's on my doorstep. Like some people don't have that same.
Well, Leicester Square is, yeah.
I go to Leicester Square pretty much every time I come to London. Go to the Lego shop.
Oh, there's
Covent Gardens.
All right. Is that Piccadilly Circus? M&M.
Say?
M&M World?
No, that's opposite the Lego Square in Lego.
Yeah, I go to M&M World a lot, to be fair. I just fill it up.
Because you've got Chinatown that's just past the main bit of Leicester Square. You've got the Odeon Cinema where they do all the main, like, previous. Have you guys ever seen TikToks made where people have been interviewed on streets of London? Most of them are in Leicester Square. For every time I've been, I've never been stopped. People have probably gone Spurs fan, Paul Sod. Fucking.
You're the guy with the Spurs fan of the podcast.
Yeah. Fuck it, whack up.
Anyway, so I'm gonna have to wear my cardigan all day with my Spurs shirt underneath. Otherwise, I'm gonna get battered. Like I've
never been this embarrassed to be a Spurs fan.
If I walk around like that, I'm gonna get battered. Like
in my whole.
To be fair, they might just feel sorry for me. They'll be like...
In my whole lifetime, to support Spurs, I've never been this embarrassed.
Honestly, I'm older than you, obviously, by a bit, yeah? But my dad, who's 80 years old, said this is the worst season he can remember. It's the worst season he can remember.
Yeah, but to be fair, at that age, how good is his memory?
Apart from when we went down, because, that's where he got the tickets when we went down. Season tickets when we went down. So he said this is like almost as bad as that.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, actually. I can't remember who it was. I knew someone had told me that they got season tickets when it went down. Because I was thinking, I replied some Twitter comment earlier saying that, if we don't get this summer right, we'll be in a relegation battle next season. And so I was like, Mr. Negative, whatever. And then I was sat there thinking, do you know how sick that would be if I get a season ticket? Great. Need to start saving now for 2 years.
Get Glasner because he's got experience keeping Palace up, so...
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the worst case scenarios.
And on that note, and that embarrassing prediction against West Ham, this has actually been a bit longer than I thought. Although I think 20 minutes we're going to be talking at the start. We will catch you guys next Monday. No, we'll catch you guys on Sunday. We're going to jump and record after the West Ham game because I'm off on Sunday, so I've got the weekend off, which is great. Let me look at the fixtures. We're playing the following Sunday as well.
Yeah,
I don't know whether or not we're literally playing.
Is there a protest on that Sunday now?
Yeah, the Palace one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go down early again.
Yeah, we might just talk about the protest and whatever. Yeah, we'll talk about the West Ham game.
Audition for, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about the West Ham game. We'll talk about whatever else, really. Maybe talk a little bit about
we're probably going to lose that. And then we've got...
maybe talk about a little bit about the European game. Like, if we're pretty much there, then we might talk about the European game as well.
I think we're really underestimating Bodo Glint, personally. Anyway, you guys will get the game, so...
Yeah, we'll talk about stuff like...
Depends how the first leg goes, If it goes a bit...
Yeah. But, and then we'll do a Guess Who. I'm trying to convince my mate Matt to come on Guess Who. We actually did a couple of rounds yesterday, actually. Funny. We were sat in a PlayStation party, right? I love how we would go off topic at the end. We were sat in a PlayStation party and we were doing Guess Who's. And so what's up?
There's a tweet from Really White Rose. I'm just reading it now.
Saying what?
ENIC have provided 222.1 million owner funding since the 2001 takeover to June.
Yeah, it averages £5.9 million a season.
That's nothing.
Yep.
And the majority of that came in a 97.5 million issue share in May 2022.
I think I found the title for the podcast. West Ham fan tweet El Crapio for the fixture. So anyway, so we did 3 rounds. And I did, it's called One Premier League Goal. Now, I knew this player had scored, but I didn't know when they scored. And I didn't realise it was their only goal. The second clue was first played in the Premier League, last played in the Premier League 2016-2017. The next clue was played in a 5-0 win. And then he guessed John Flanagan.
Oh, how did he know that?
He's a Liverpool fan, but I didn't think he'd get it.
Makes sense, I guess,
I didn't think he'd get it. But the fact that John Flanagan scored one Premier League goal and it was against us for that iconic tweet was great. The second one was...
I have a little bit of a soft spot for Liverpool because of Torres, but anyway.
But yeah, the next one he had was played in England, Italy and Spain. Largest transfer value was 30 million in 2012, but his biggest transfer fee was 15 million. He won the World Cup and the Euros, so I worked out he's Spanish. The answer was Fernando Llorente, which is quite cool.
Oh, Llorente, not Torres.
Yeah. And then I did the Sissoko one on him to see if he guessed it, and he guessed it. You were the only person that never got that. He guessed it by the arch rivals one. He didn't realise he just took a stab and got it right. But it was really good fun. So I'm trying to convince him to come on. He watches the TikTok clip. So Matt, listen.
What's his sport?
Liverpool.
Maybe we'll do like a not non-Spurs.
Well, I think we'll just do like a Premier League one.
Yeah,
Matt,
Premier League one.
If you're watching this, screw the rest of the episode, guys. The episode's crap. I'm just kidding.
By the way,
I'm going to clip this deliberately and put this as the bit on TikTok. Matt, if you're watching this, we want you to come on and beat Harry at Guess Who. Harry's given his seal of approval.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I'll just say, guys, you need to watch The Accountant 2. It's really good.
Say?
The Accountant 2. I don't know if you've seen the first one.
What the hell is that?
It's a movie, The Accountant 2. It's a second sequel to The Accountant that came out in 2016 with Ben Affleck and the guy who plays the Punisher in Daredevil.
See, right, you and Matt would come on just talk about movies. Have you got a letterbox?
Sorry?
Have you got a letterbox?
Sort of. Why?
Let me follow you on letterbox. Let me read some more.
Letterbox, I think when as an actual letterbox.
Oh, fucking hell. I know you've got a post box, Harry. So a letterbox is an app where you rate movies, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
We're going to completely go off tangent now. Fuck everything.
Yeah, that's something
Matt's going to love it. I'm going to clip this bit and put this bit. This is how bad Spurs have got. So I have letterbox and Matt got me into it. And you basically review movies that you've watched on there. Let me go on to what I reviewed. So I'll read out some of my... reviews so people can tell me what they think. So apparently I've only had 6 reviews. That don't make no sense. I've done more than that, surely. Oh, films. Here we go.
Or did you just pick a movie and just review it?
Yeah, so you pick a movie and you rate it. So let's read some of them. So let me count how many I've got. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Right, give me a number between 1 and 55. I'm going to read 3 of my random reviews. Give me a number between 1 and 55. 19. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 was The Terminal. It stars Tom Hanks. Yeah. And it's about a guy who, for those people that haven't watched it, it's about a guy who gets stuck between countries when his country goes into war while he's traveling. He can't go until they get out of war and recognize his country again. My review, this is back before I actually wrote reviews. I gave it a 3.5 star. Out of 5. Yeah. No, did I? No, I gave it a 5 star out of 5, sorry. I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Let me find reviews where I actually wrote stuff because I didn't start writing stuff for ages. Have you seen Liar Liar with?
Yeah.
Mate, I watched that film as I saw it on recommendations. I watched it. Oh my god, Jim Carrey is so good. Imagine, he's the kind of guy I imagine that would support a club like Tottenham. I can't explain why, but Jim Carrey would just.
The elevator scene. You know what I'm talking about, right? The elevator scene with the big, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
it laugh so much. It's just like
reviews I gave. It's not this. The film 2012. Well, didn't end, did it? So
it's actually quite a good movie. I actually quite like it.
It was alright.
I know I saw it in cinemas. I was like,
there's a film called What's Your Number? It's a rom-com. I'm not going to lie. The actual film idea itself is brilliant. But the acting's awful. Don't think the actors fit the roles well at all. If they remade it with 2 more natural rom-com actors, it would be a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed the film, but the acting's terrible. Non-stop with Liam Neeson, a true Liam Neeson classic. It's a slight slow burner initially, but it's a brilliant film. One of those that's never quite the same once you've watched it the second time, but 100% worth the watch for the first time. I did the new Wallace and Gromit. These two characters are the pride of British TV, and the latest edition is yet another classic. I've waited a long time for Feathers McGraw to plot his revenge, and I was not disappointed. From the jokes to the return of the bike and the sidecar, it was perfect for Wallace and Gromit fans, both old and new. While Peter Sallis was nearly irreplaceable, it seems Aardman have done the almost impossible. A top tier movie that has been worth the wait. The story isn't over, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Listen, I'm a massive Wallace and Gromit nut. Okay,
I know you are.
Example. There you go. So, yeah. Another one I did, if you haven't seen this film, it's actually on... Have you got Netflix?
No. What's it called?
Right, it's called A Good Liar. It's got Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen in it. I watched it in the cinema. It was incredible. I actually reviewed this like a week and a half ago. Saw it in the cinema when it was first released, and I was left speechless. Watched it again last night, and again reminded me just how fantastic of a film it is. Top tier from 2 stars of the acting world. Wish I could see it for the first time all over again.
She's been around for ages, Helen Mirren.
Yeah, honestly, the two of them are amazing. Let me just find one more where I've written. I'm going to read all all the films and what I've actually starred them. I want to see if I've got any other written reviews. Oh, this is the last written review I did. So the series of unfortunate events, the movie, I rated 2.5 star. As a huge, Jim Carrey was the perfect Count Olaf. Don't get me wrong. Who's the guy who plays Barney Stinson in?
I forgot his name now. It's coming in my head now.
Anyway, he was a great Count Olaf in the series, and I thought Netflix did really, really well. And the author of the films played a massive part, so we actually got to see what he really wanted. But Jim Carrey was such a good Count Olaf. As a huge series of unfortunate events fan, I thought an individual actors played their roles perfectly. However, the script cutting one book short to add book 2 and 3, and then ending the movie on the end of book 1 still irritates me. However many years later, I'm glad Netflix bought the series, because if I had to die with this being all that was created on a masterclass of books, then I'd die a sad man. And I got one line. So we'll go through the movies, right? Feel free to judge me. So Brewster's Millions, have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
Incredible film. In my top 3, if not my top favourite all-time film. It's incredible.
Really? Oh.
I love it. 5 stars. Labyrinth, I gave 4 stars.
I haven't seen
You've never seen Labyrinth with David Bowie? Watch it. It's great. Grand Day Out, Wallace and Gromit, 3 stars. It was all right for his time. Home Alone, 4 stars. Wrong Trousers, 5 stars. Forrest Gump, 4 stars. Wallace and Gromit Close Shave, 3.5 stars. Preston used to scare me, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
Liar, Liar, 3.5 stars. 10 Things I Hate About You, 5 stars. Absolutely
love that movie.
Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Incredible movie. Absolutely incredible.
Such a 90s, like, teen flick sort of thing. It's so good. I love those kind of movies. They're so good.
Honestly, brilliant. Gladiator, 4 star. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, my God.
No. Gone in 60 Seconds, 5 star. I love Nicolas Cage.
And you know from my story, I love Gladiator anyway.
Yeah. Chicken Run, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah.
That's 5 stars. I had it on video, so good. First Shrek, 5 stars. Right, rank the Shreks. Rank them in order of what you think's the best.
Sorry?
So rank the Shrek movies, yeah.
No, I can't remember them. I wish you off.
Fair enough. I'll let you off.
You know how many there are? It's like 5.
4. There's the 5 ones coming, because we need to bully DreamWorks.
Now I'm watching them for 20 years.
I've got them on my Amazon Prime. I paid for them stupidly. Fast and Furious, the first one I did 4. Fast and Furious, second one I did 4. Love Actually, 5 stars. Elf, 5 stars.
Tokyo Drift? Are you not done Tokyo Drift?
Shrek 2, no, because I don't really like Tokyo Drift.
No, Tokyo Drift. That's one of my favourite ones, actually.
Shrek 2, 4 stars. A Day After Tomorrow, 3.5 stars. Seminole, 5 stars. National Treasure, 5 star. Series of Unfortunate Events, 2.5. Coach Carter, 5 stars. Have you ever seen Coach Carter?
Oh, mate, Coach Carter's brilliant.
So good, so good. Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit, 3 stars. Flushed Away, 5 stars. I did Hot Fuzz as 3 stars, but I watched it again yesterday. I'd probably make it 4 stars. Yeah. In fact, let me change that.
You know, when that came out, that was such a huge movie. Like, you probably don't remember it, but
I've upgraded it to 4 stars.
And Nick Frost were like the biggest stars in Britain when that came out. Yeah. I actually met both of them on the plane. Nick Frost was lovely, but Simon Pegg was a bit of a... Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm surprised. Ratatouille, 5 star. Second Astro Trader, 5 star. Iron Man, 5 star. Mamma Mia, 5 star. Listen, people can say what they like, but I was singing Dancing Queen in the car on the way to work this morning. So, young and free, I'm not 17. What else going my home life? I'm so glad we've been able to enjoy a Spurs episode by not talking about Spurs. Wallace and Gromit, Mario Loaf and Death, 4 stars. 2012, 2 stars. Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief, 4 stars. Shrek Forever After, 1.5 stars. I hated it.
Have you seen Training Day or not?
I haven't, no.
You have to watch that. It's
Easy A, 3.5 stars. Tangled, 5 stars. Tangled's underrated, just saying. And if they make...
Right.
Yeah, it's really good. Thor, 4 stars. Crazy Stupid Love, 5 stars. I know you love that film.
Oh, mate.
It's so good. Mate, the way... Oh, my God. Just... Steve Carell is just such a vibe.
Those shoes? What do you think about those shoes? What? Yeah. He just chucks them off. Mate, it's so long. It's like,
I just buy their clothes at the Gap.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna buy you a drink anyway. And 5 years sober. Never mind. Go away. So funny. And it turns out that he's screwing his kid's English teacher.
Yeah, it's so brilliant. You know when they go into the parents'
when they go into the parents' evening and she starts going, asshole. Isn't the guy who says he would call you back and he won't? Asshole. Isn't the guy who says he's single but he's actually still married? Oh, it's just so funny.
It's Marissa Tomei. That's Marissa Tomei.
It's such a good film. Friends with Benefits, 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed that film.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Captain America, 5 stars. What's your number 3 stars?
The first Avenger, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I love the first Avenger. Everyone says this, but Captain America, the first Avenger, is one of my favourite Marvel films.
Underrated Marvel, though. I think it's quite underrated.
I think so, yeah.
It's better of all the origin movies. It's my favourite, but I always like Cap the most.
That and Iron Man. All the 3 originals are my favourites. Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Those 3 are my favourites. Tower Heist, 5 stars.
So I don't get copyright.
I've seen that film recently, actually, again, and it's really good. The Muppets, 3 stars. The Lorax, 5 stars. Hunger Games, 3 stars. Brave, 4 stars.
That's not right for the Hunger Games.
Now You See Me, 4 stars. Wolf of Wall Street, 2 stars. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I thought it was so overrated. Non-Stop, 4.5 stars. Maze Runner, 3.5 stars. Not going to tell you what that one is because I'll get judged.
What?
Let's just say it's a certain amount of shades of okay. And we'll leave that there. Scorched Trials, 3 stars. Maze Runner, the last one, 4 stars. Good Liar, 5 stars. Hard Feelings. Did you ever watch that with Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, it's not great.
I quite enjoyed it, actually. I watched it in cinema, 4 stars. Despicable Me 4, 1 star. Fell asleep in cinema. Twisters, 4 stars, and the new one's going with 5 stars.
Did you see the new Twisters or the old Twisters?
The old one's good, but the new one, actually, I was talking to my little brother's aunt about it at Easter, and well, I thought they made it really. I thought they kept it a really close adaptation of the original. It felt like that vibe of I'm doing it for the excitement, for the thrill, whatever. I'm doing it for the understanding of the weather and the understanding of the clouds or whatever. And those 2 worlds colliding. You've got the arrogant, I'm doing it because I want the thrill seeking, putting it on social media. You've got the kind of the educational purposes of trying to learn the wind speeds and what causes the funnel and whatever. And those 2 worlds colliding. I thought they did it really well. When I went to the cinema to see it, I actually went to see it with Emil. The mate whose birthday is on Saturday. And happy birthday to you. And in the last 15 minutes, you could tell that he was like rolling his eyes. And then at the end of the film, he was like, well, that was a bit predictable. I was like, so they're not going to kill everybody, are they? Jesus Christ.
It's really, it's hard, like Top Gun. Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
I haven't, no.
I can't really know.
Everyone slanders me for
it. Anyway, before I'm trying to say, when they did the sequel, everyone's quite worried about that the sequel was not going to be as good or be because they've done a lot of sequels to movies 10, 20 years later, and it's not been great. Yeah. But they pulled it off, and Twister did the same thing. I was very worried because it was such an old movie that they were going to
completely
change the mind.
They did really well, They did really well. And it wasn't a major company that took it on either, which I was quite surprised about. So if you guys, completely random, but if you guys want to follow me on Letterboxd, my username is David Spurs. And with that, we will finish a Spurs episode that we just spent the last 15 minutes talking about films. And the biggest horror film of them all is Tottenham under Ange Postecoglou. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next week. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.